Welcome back to Building Foundations, the podcast by DGI Waterproofing. After our deep dive into historic homes last time, I was thinking about how, no matter how charming your home is, a leaky basement, it's a universal headache. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it really is. It's something that can affect pretty much any homeowner, regardless of the age or style of their house.
Exactly. And what's really interesting to me, it's like, while some water damage is totally obvious, like you walk down there and there's a giant puddle or you see these crazy wall stains. But the real trick is catching those silent, almost invisible signs, before they turn into these huge issues.
I couldn't agree more. And it's funny because we see this all the time. Homeowners call us in for a free inspection, and they're convinced it's just a minor issue. But then when we start digging deeper, we find all sorts of hidden damage that they had no idea about.
It's like playing detective, right?
Exactly. You have to look for those subtle clues, those whispers of trouble that most people would just overlook.
So let's say we're putting on our inspector hats, heading down to the basement. What are we looking for? Give us the rundown.
Okay, so first things first. We all know the obvious signs, right? Pooling water, you got those telltale stains, and then that chalky white residue that's called efflorescence. But those are just the tip of the iceberg, really.
Yeah, I gotta go deeper.
Exactly. So let's think about it this way. Water damage, it affects your home, like a domino effect. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I'm with you.
So that visible stain that you see, it could actually be a sign of some serious structural weakening. It's putting stress on your foundation, and that can lead to cracks, uneven floors, even problems upstairs.
Okay, hold on. Now you're making me rethink every little imperfection in my basement.
Yeah.
So what are these, sneaky saboteurs, these hidden signs we need to be watching out for?
All right, so one subtle sign is warping. And I mean really subtle. Imagine running your hand along your basement wall and feeling a slight dip inward, like a shallow bowl, Or maybe a floorboard that's no longer perfectly flat. And this often happens gradually, so homeowners might not even notice it until it's quite pronounced.
That makes sense. I mean, it's easy to dismiss a little warp as just, that's just how old houses are.
Yeah.
Right. But you're saying it could be a red flag.
Absolutely. And speaking of things we often just chalk up to age, peeling paint or bubbling wallpaper, that can also point to moisture that's trapped beneath the surface. And it might be tempting to just slap on another coat of paint, right? But you're not addressing the root cause. That moisture is just going to keep doing its damage.
So what you're saying is, even in a beautifully restored historic home, like we talked about last time, peeling paint, it might not just be about age.
Exactly. And now think about your sense of smell. That musty odor, even if it's faint, that can be a big giveaway. It often signals mold or mildew growing in those hidden damp spots.
Right.
And let me tell you, ignoring that old basement smell is a big mistake.
Got it. If my basement smells like a locker room, time to investigate. But what about something like humidity? My basement tends to feel a bit clammy sometimes, even when there's no visible water. Is that something to be concerned about?
It definitely can be. Basements are naturally cooler and damper than other parts of the house, but that clammy feeling can be a sign of excessive humidity.
Okay.
And high humidity, well, you guessed it, it's mold's best friend. It creates the perfect environment for those spores to multiply and spread, and that can potentially impact your air quality and everyone's health in the house.
Oh, wow. You've definitely convinced me that those sneaky saboteurs are not to be messed with. We've got to move beyond just accepting a damp basement as normal.
Yeah, and one thing that I think people often underestimate is the impact of their landscaping. Like, just having gutters, that's not always enough,
Really?
Oh, yeah. We've seen cases where a homeowner will be out there, meticulously cleaning their gutters, but their yard is actually sloping towards the foundation.
Oh, no.
It's like they're unintentionally creating a moat, directing all that rainwater right at their basement walls.
So it's not just about what's happening inside the basement. We have to think about the exterior, too.
Absolutely. And it can be tricky because sometimes those terrain issues are really subtle. Like you might have a flower bed that's built up too high or a downspout that's just dumping water a foot away from the foundation. It's all about understanding how water flows around your house.
So yard drainage, that's a big one. What about those cracks we were talking about earlier? I mean, those just seem like an obvious entry point for water, don't they?
Oh, they absolutely are. And even tiny cracks, like almost hair-thin cracks, Those can let in a surprising amount of water, especially during heavy rain or when the snow melts.
Yeah, it's like that saying, right? A small leak will sink a great ship.
Exactly. Those tiny cracks, they might seem insignificant, but over time they can cause some major damage.
Okay, so we're checking our gutters, we're looking at the slope of our yard, we're scanning for cracks. Anything else we should be thinking about?
Well, sump pumps, those are a crucial part of a comprehensive waterproofing system, but they're often misunderstood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of homeowners, they think, oh, I have a sump pump, I'm good, but they don't realize that these aren't like one-size-fits-all solutions.
Okay, now you've got me curious.
Hmm.
What are some of the things a homeowner should consider when it comes to sump pumps?
Well, first, you've got to think about the type of pump. There are pedestal pumps, there are submersible pumps, each with their pros and cons, and then you've got to consider the size and capacity of the pump, which should be matched to your specific needs and the amount of water you might need to remove. And of course, proper installation is key. We've seen cases where pumps were installed incorrectly and they were basically useless.
So it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing.
Not at all. Regular maintenance is crucial. You need to make sure that the pump is running smoothly, the pit is free of debris, and that discharge line is clear.
This is all great information. But I imagine most homeowners wouldn't even know where to start when it comes to assessing these things.
You're absolutely right, and that's where professional expertise comes in. At DGI, we don't just install systems, we educate homeowners. We'll come in, we'll inspect your basement, identify potential issues, and explain everything in detail so you understand exactly what's happening and what steps need to be taken.
You know, that personalized approach, that's what I love about DGI.
Yeah,
You're not just slapping on a Band-Aid, you're getting to the root of the problem.
exactly. Our goal is to provide lasting solutions that give homeowners peace of mind. And a big part of that is empowering them with knowledge.
I think that's such a crucial point. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to protecting your home. You're not just fixing a leaky basement. You're preventing potential health issues. You're protecting your investment and ensuring the long-term value of your property.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And the sooner you can catch those warning signs, the better.
So what's the first step a homeowner should take if they suspect they might have one of these hidden water damage issues? So what's the first step a homeowner should take if they think they might have one of these hidden water damage issues?
Honestly, the best thing to do is just get a professional inspection. We offer free consultations at DGI, so it's really like a no-risk way to get peace of mind.
That's a good point. I think a lot of people, they put off these kinds of things because they're worried about the cost, you know?
Yeah.
But what you're saying is it's better to catch it early, even if it's just a suspicion.
Absolutely. It's kind of like going to the doctor for a checkup, you know? You might not have any symptoms, but early detection, that's the key to preventing bigger problems down the road.
That makes sense. So let's say someone calls DGI, they schedule that free inspection. What happens during a typical inspection? What can they expect?
Well, our team will come to your home and we will thoroughly examine your basement, We'll look for any signs of moisture intrusion, any cracks, foundation issues, potential drainage problems. We'll also check your sump pump if you have one, make sure it's functioning properly.
There's a pretty comprehensive assessment.
It is. We want to get a complete picture of your basement's health so we can recommend the best course of action. And of course, we explain everything to you in plain English so you understand exactly what's going on and what your options are.
That's good to hear. I think a lot of homeowners feel intimidated by these things, but you're saying DGI makes it easy to understand.
That's the goal. We believe that informed homeowners make the best decisions, so we take the time to educate our clients and answer all their questions.
I love that. So listeners, if you're hearing this and thinking, maybe I should get my basement checked out, what's the best way to contact DGI?
Easiest way is to just visit our website, dgiwaterproofing.com, or give us a call. We're always happy to help.
Perfect. And remember, a dry basement is a happy basement. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about protecting your home, your health, your peace of mind.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for having me on the show today.
It's been a pleasure. And thank you, listeners, for joining us for another episode of Building Foundations. We'll be back soon with more tips and advice to help you create a strong and lasting foundation for your home. Until then, stay dry, stay safe, and don't forget to schedule that basement inspection.